Have you ever been deep in the mountains on the trail with no cell service and you need to reach out to friends in your group? That's where a mobile radio comes in. No towers, no contracts, just straight up old school wireless communication. But how does it work? A mobile CB radio, or citizens band radio, is a short distance two-way radio that operates on the 27 megahertz frequency band. It's been the go-to for truckers, off-roaders, and adventurers since the 70s, and unlike your phone, which relies on cell towers, a CB radio sends radio waves directly to another radio. That means if you and your friend are within range, you can talk instantly with no middleman. Here's what happens when you key up your mic. Your voice gets converted into an electrical signal, modulates a radio wave, and gets broadcasted through your antenna. That wave travels through the air until another radio's antenna picks it up. The receiver then demodulates the signal, turning it back into sound. Simple, but effective. Let's break that down a bit more. When you press the push-to-talk button, your voice is transformed into an audio frequency signal. The signal then modulates a carrier wave, which is a higher frequency radio wave that acts as a transport signal. The modulation process can be either amplitude modulation, AM, frequency modulation, FM, or single sideband modulation, SSB, each with its own strengths and weaknesses. AM is simple and widely used, compatible with all CB radios, but is prone to static, interference, and background noise, especially in urban or high-traffic environments. FM, on the other hand, has clearer audio with less static and interference. It's better for noisy environments like off-roading, but older radios do not support FM. Also, it's slightly more power-intensive, but just slightly. SSB, or single sideband modulation, effectively triples the range while staying within the FCC's rules. SSB works by eliminating one of the AM signal's sidebands and the carrier wave, leaving only the upper or lower sideband. This makes it much more efficient because all the power is focused into a smaller bandwidth instead of being split between a carrier and the two sidebands like AM radio. However, because there's no carrier wave to help with tuning, the radio operators need to fine-tune the radios using the radio's clarifier. The clarifier adjusts the frequency slightly so that the transmissions are clear. If both parties aren't properly tuned in, the signal on SSB can come over distorted or garbled. The modulated wave is then transmitted through the antenna, radiating outward in a pattern influenced by the antenna's length and placement. Once this signal reaches another CB radio's antenna, the process is reversed. The antenna picks up the wave, the receiver filters out the unwanted frequencies, and the detector circuit extracts the original audio signal. That signal is then amplified and played through the speaker, allowing you to hear your friend on the other end. Now, your radio's range depends on a few things: the power, the antenna length and placement, along with the terrain and obstructions. CB radios are limited to 4 watts of output power by the FCC, so you shouldn't expect crazy long distances. But with a good antenna setup, you can reach anywhere from 1 to 10 miles, depending on obstacles like hills, trees, and buildings. Are you on the top of a mountain in an open terrain area? You'll get out much further. If you're down in the valley in a dense forest, not so much. As I mentioned before, some CB radios have single sideband mode, or SSB, which effectively triples your range by using power more efficiently. It's still legal, but both radios need to be in SSB mode to communicate. If range is your biggest concern, SSB is a great way to go. Your antenna is just as important as the radio itself. A properly tuned antenna with low standing wave ratio, or SWR, ensures maximum performance. Too much reflected signal or high SWR, you will lose range and even risk damaging your radio. So be sure to get an SWR meter from Right Channel Radios. You can trust us, as having a properly tuned antenna will get the maximum output from your radio. CB radios have 40 channels, some with a different purpose. Channel 19 is the highway channel for truckers, while channel 9 is reserved for emergencies. And the rest are all open for general use. Just be mindful of local chatter and be sure to keep it clean over the airwaves. So whether you're leading a convoy, spotting an obstacle, or just shooting the breeze, a CB radio keeps you connected when cell service fails. Want the best setup? Check out our guide on antennas and tuning. Now get out there and stay in touch, old school style.